culinary demonstration here on the beautiful American Cruise Line's Melody. My name is Justin, Chef Justin. I'm the executive chef here on the Melody. I have not been in the cruising industry for very long, although I have been on about 25 or 26 big cruises as a guest, so I know what the experience is all about. So what I'm here to do today is the culinary demonstration. Now we're in New Orleans right now. So what have you heard about what the most famous dish is in New Orleans?
Gumbo.
There's also another one.
Alcohol.
Jambalaya.
Jambalaya.
Right? That's another one. So jambalaya actually has origins in France and Spain. And it was thought to come over when they settled in New Orleans. So there's a few French flavors in there, and there's a few Spanish flavors in there. We're going to start with the ingredients, and then I'll tell you guys, I'm going a little more about the history of how it became to be, and how it's changed, and how many different styles of jambalaya there are. So we start with chicken thighs, which I diced up into 1-inch cubes. Andouille sausage. Has anybody ever heard of andouille sausage? It's really delicious. It's actually originated in France and Germany, and it has a skin on the outside. Before you cook it, you have to peel the skin off. And they actually boil it. They don't smoke it in Germany. The smoking in France, and the smoking started actually here in the United States. So this one is smoked. So I diced some of that up. I have some tomatoes here. I have some crushed tomatoes here. I have some red and green peppers, and I'll just show you real quick how I do this. I also have a yellow onion. Now, when you have a whole pepper, what I like to do is cut off the top first, cut off the bottom, and then cut off the sides. So you have a flat surface down, and then once you get your sides, you kind of trim up a little bit, and then you cut them into strips. Just like that. Where's everybody from?
Texas.
Texas.
Washington.
Barbecue.
Yeah.
Washington. What do you guys got up in Washington? DC or state?
Oh, state.
Nice. What are you known for up there? Fish?
Right.
Sushi.
Chowder.
So then we just dice these into small pieces. I have some already. I like to use cast iron pans to make my jambalaya in, because you can finish them on the stove or you can put them in the oven. So that's going to be that. And then when I like to cut up onions, I peel the onion first, then I cut the only one side off. I leave the root side on, because then it makes it easier to dice. Then what you do is you take your knife and you cut along this way, horizontally, and then vertically, in even pieces. And then you cut it horizontally again. And then you get nice, even dices. And you want to do it about the same size as you cut the peppers. You can go bigger if you want, it just takes a little longer to cook. Okay, so we're going to start. Oh, I also have celery, I'm sorry. So celery sticks, same thing. You want it to be the same size. And you cut it into strips, and then dice it up. What's your favorite itinerary? Have you ever been on an American cruise before?
I've never been, but I'm really gravitating towards, what is it, the Alaskan exploration.
Oh, okay.
West.
Yeah.
Nice. I've never been up there. I've never been to Washington either.
It's a beautiful state. In the
Is it?
summer.
In the summertime.
Yeah. Rest of the months it's cloudy, it's rainy, it's
All right, so I'm gonna get this pan nice and hot. Now, if you use cast iron, just remember, these pans get hot and they stay hot for a long time. Okay, so you gotta be careful. If you have a rag, a kitchen rag, it's always good to use that to hold it while you're cooking with it. Okay? Anybody have any questions so far?
What's the temperature of it?
What's those?
Temperature.
I like to do it, I start off on a medium high heat. So you can brown up the meat. We're gonna start with the andouille sausage first. Then we're gonna go into the chicken thighs. We're gonna take those out and we're gonna put them on a paper towel so that it gets rid of some of that grease. And then we're gonna saute the veggies in there, add them back in. You'll see as we go.
Why'd you choose jambalaya?
Because we're in New Orleans and it's one of those dishes.
We're in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Did you miss that? Did you look out the window?
New Orleans has some gorgeous mountains.
Yeah, and the snow too.
So what's the sausage made out of?
The sausage is usually
never
made
asked
out
that
of.
question.
The original sausage is actually made out of pig intestine, like the internal parts of the pig. Okay. The one that we make out this way in the United States is made out of pork shoulder or pork butt. Same thing.
That's healthy, Charlie.
Yeah. But it's got a nice amount of fat in it, so it grinds really nicely. Gives you that. It doesn't dry out, so it's good to they're good to grill. I love grilled andouilles. If you can't find andouille, Spanish chorizo is a really good alternative, and it's not as spicy. Andouille has a good kick to it. All right. Let's see. Just gonna go all the way up on this. It's taking a minute. Sorry. So like I said, jambalaya has an influence of Spanish and French, but it also has an influence of African cuisine, Caribbean cuisine. So that's why there's so many different styles. You'll have it in many different places, many different flavors. Spanish brought it over to make it kind of like paella, and they couldn't find saffron here, so they used tomatoes instead. In my mind, that really doesn't make sense, but that's what they did. That's the history that's written on it. So they used tomatoes to kind of supplement that flavor and that color. All right, so we're going to start with the chorizo, because the chorizo has fat in it. Now this portion makes maybe about 4 or 5 servings. And you can put more chicken or more sausage in there if you want. Put the chicken in. You want to get a nice sear on there because what comes from searing? Flavor. Some cultures put like seafood in their jambalaya. This is just meat. This is a very traditional one. Some places in Louisiana actually that live close to the coast put shrimp, Gulf Coast Louisiana shrimp in their jambalaya. So we get a nice color on that. Smells delicious.
What's your favorite type of cuisine to cook?
Say that again?
What's your favorite type of cuisine to cook?
I love Mediterranean cuisine.
What's your favorite dish?
I spent some time in Europe,
Uh-huh.
and I lived in France, Spain, and Portugal.
Nice.
I'm going to take these out. They're not cooked all the way, because we're going to put them back in and we're going to let it go for a little while. I really like coastal Mediterranean cuisine. I'm a big fish guy. So we're going to set these aside, let some of that grease drain off.
So why did you pre-cook it anyway?
What's that?
What was the purpose of pre-cooking it?
The meat?
Yeah.
To get a little brown on it, sear on it. So I'm going to turn the heat back up a little bit. Just left a few pieces in there, that's okay. I'm going to add onions first. So there's a term called the Trinity, or the Holy Trinity, actually. And it's very popular in Creole and Cajun cuisine. There are 2 types of jambalaya. One of them has tomatoes and one of them doesn't. The one that we're making today obviously has tomatoes. So this is Creole. Cajun folks don't put tomatoes in their jambalaya. So it's more of a brown look to it. So I'm just gonna let those go. Say that again? It's onions, bell peppers, red and green. 3 things. Similar to like a French, what they call mirepoix, which is carrot, celery, and onions. What's your favorite place to travel?
I haven't traveled with
Oh, you haven't? Well, good. Well, but now you have, or now you're going to. Back on. So for these, you don't want to get too much color on them, because then it kind of changes the flavor. You don't want, because this already has color on it, so you just want to saute them up maybe for about 2 or 3 minutes. And for timing's sake, I'm going to just continue. So after those go for about 2 or 3 minutes, we're going to add some tomato paste. Crushed tomatoes, sorry. I'm going to stir that in. We're going to let that go for about 30 to 40 seconds. My most favorite place I've ever traveled is the Caribbean islands. St. Martin it's a French island. It's one of my most favorites. There's just something about it that I love so much.
Is it the beauty or the cuisine or what that you love about it?
Everything. The
Everything.
people, the beaches are gorgeous. They have a beach there called Maho Beach, and the planes come in. They're like big planes that come in right over your head. It's amazing. If you've never been, you should try to go. They do cruises down there too. Not American cruises, but.
Chef,
So
how
now
do
we're-
you,
yes,
how
sir?
do you like working on a cruise ship?
I love working on a cruise ship. I love cruising. Obviously, like I said earlier, me and my partner have been on 25, 26 cruises. So I just love the experience. And I've always wanted to work on the backside of a cruise because I see how hard they work, but they smile all the time. And I'm like, how do you do that? So, but I mean, you can tell that they love their job. So I've always wanted to do it. So we're gonna let that come up a little bit. I'm not sauteing the garlic, I'm adding it raw. I got about 3 cloves of garlic in here. Now what's gonna happen is it's gonna come to a boil. I'm gonna season it up a little bit, just some salt and pepper. And then in here, I have something called gumbo filet. It's a kind of a Cajun Creole seasoning, and it helps to thicken up the jambalaya. I have paprika, some Cajun seasoning, and some red pepper flakes, so it gives it a little kick. So I'm gonna add that too. And then don't always add everything that's on your recipe. Kind of add it and taste it as you go. Some people like things hotter. Some chefs who write recipes like things hotter, and some like them on the more mild side. So we're gonna let that come to a boil. And then once it comes to a boil, I'm gonna add long grain rice, okay? And then we're gonna turn the heat down. And then you can cover it on a stove, or you can pop it in the oven for about 20 or 25 minutes. In the oven, it can go at 350. On the stove, you want to do about a medium heat and let it go on the stove too for 20-25 minutes. Peek it open, check it, maybe do a little taste, see if the rice is still needs a little more time. Let it go a little bit longer. Recipes aren't always perfect. I always say they're just a guideline. So you always want to like modify it the way that you like it, and then continue to check the process as you go. If there's something you don't like, then you can just leave it out. So what I did was made some ahead of time. Now you can garnish with, this is kind of what it looks like. You want to get that nice crust on the top. And then just kind of stir it up a little bit.
You got 2 pans of it?
Yep. So
Can
this
we do a
one,
taste test on it?
yeah.
No, he's just brought it for us to look at it.
Of course.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
What is the thickener in the seasoning? What is
It's a natural thickener that comes from, oh, you had to ask. No, it's fine. I really don't know, but I know it comes naturally from some of the plants or seeds that they make it out of.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not like a flour or cornstarch or anything?
No,
it's all natural.
no, it's all natural.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And then for garnish, you can use scallions, you can use parsley. Oh, that smells good. You can use anything green you want. You can. You don't have to garnish it at all. I'm just gonna add a little parsley on top, and then you should be good to go. Anybody have any questions so far? Well, you guys have been asking questions. But...
What's the point of putting foil over the pan?
So that keeps the steam.
Keep the steam
Yep,
tight?
keeps the steam tight. I would usually tighten it better than that, but the foil fell apart on me. I'm sorry. It happens. You're in a kitchen.
Would you say that jambalaya is like a dry version of gumbo, or
I would.
different flavor profile? You think?
Flavor profile, yes. It's more like paella in the texture and everything. But you can just take parsley. Like I said, you could use scallions. Just make it look pretty. Parsley really doesn't impart any flavor very much. It does have a little bit of like a fresh. It's not as pungent as like cilantro, or obviously as a scallion, which is part of the onion family. So if you want a little extra onion on top, and then like I was saying, always taste as you go. So I'm just gonna taste this real quick, make sure it's okay. I think so. And I think that's all I have for you today.
Awesome.
Oh, it smells good in here.
Thank you, Chuck.
I think you did great.